So one other thing that you should have in that pack is an oral rehydration solution. So are you guys familiar with what an oral rehydration solution is?
We love the
We,
element.
That's not an ORS.
Okay, what's an
I,
ORS? I'm confused then. I just
Yeah.
assumed you meant like a hydration packet like they're selling everywhere.
Yes, I love that you said that because now I can tell you exactly why I'm not Element. Element is an electrolyte replacement. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does help rehydrate, but it's not the gold standard for rehydration. And I'm sorry, I have to go with the gold standard for first responders because time is an issue. And also, you don't want to do the paperwork for getting transported, and you don't want to get yelled at by your spouse for passing out. An oral rehydration solution, they were developed for the cholera epidemic where they didn't have access to IV fluids in the quantities necessary to help save people from dehydration related illnesses. So this is obviously an oral product that has about somewhere between 500 and 800 milligrams of sodium. So double the sodium of sports drink and half the sugar. So about 10, 15 grams of sugar. Everybody wants to go sugar free because sugar free means healthy, right? Not in this instance. So having a little bit of sugar available, not only does the sodium help replace, the losses, you use the electrolytes when you lose the electrolytes, you use them when you lose them, but it also having that little bit of sugar gives you access to the sodium glucose co-transporter. So when glucose is available, it can bind to the transporter, sodium can then bind and water can follow. So you gain an entry point on the cell. So people rehydrate 2 to 3 times as fast with sugar containing products. So I see a lot of departments buying into fire salt, element, relight. And yes, it's replacing the electrolytes, which the losses are significant on the fire ground. However, it is not equal to IV fluids in case of mild to moderate dehydration, like an ORS is. So oral rehydration solution products are things like drip drop, liquid IV, or fluid tactical ORS. And they are a little bit more expensive, but also equal to IV therapy in mild to moderate dehydration. Element and fire salt are not equal to IV therapy based on the evidence that I've seen. Large department purchases need to be ORS. Personal purchases, you're on paleo, you're keto, you're a special diet, you don't want to do sugar, it's a personal thing. Totally go for it. But like I said, based on the current level of evidence, I just don't see those products being the main purchase, not only for personal, but for also departmental use. And then when you go to these websites, they're like, well, sugar is causing diabetes. Sugar from liquid IV is not giving the fire service diabetes.